Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So Fantasy Rugby for the World Cup round 2. I did a first episode of this a few days ago on the channel. I picked my team and didn't really know, I think, particularly what I was doing it on a bit of a whim. I've had quite a few comments on that video and just looked into it a little bit more myself. So I'm going to transfer everyone out and we're going to start from scratch, which is something I think a lot of you, based upon the comments, have already done. It always takes a little bit of tweaking these sort of things to make sure you get a team that you want. So just a reminder, 100 points is your budget. You can obviously pick various different players. And there is a league as well. Once again, I won't do it now. I'll put in the description, I'll put the code for the league so you can join up to the league for the channel, which is going to be quite a good laugh. But I think a big mistake I made last time was probably not considering the fixtures quite enough in week 1. So looking at them, I think Ireland against Romania, you probably want 3 Irish players. 3's the max as a reminder. Possibly 3 Australians, they're playing Georgia. I think definitely 3 Italians as they're playing Namibia. And possibly even some Japanese in there as well. I don't think Japan are going to have a great World Cup, but they're playing Chile in their first game. So let's go back through. There's a few good options already that I want to get straight into. Outside backs, I know that Ange Capowatso is, I think, 5. That was a big issue last week. Yeah, Capowatso 5. I mean, he's been selected by 46% of teams, which maybe isn't the wisest pick because everyone else has. But let's go with him at first. 5's are pretty good for the Italian fullback, particularly given the fact that they're playing Namibia. So I'm going to go with him. And then where else can we go? A big part of this as well is being able to just keep your costs down. It's like Antoine Dupont's at like 11 of your 100 points. So over 10% of your team would go on that one player. Where else should we go here if we're sticking with the outside backs? Looking at some of the cheaper options. Am I right in thinking that... Who was it? It was set. I'm sure there's one of the Australian wingers. Is it Korobetti? Korobetti 7. Nwanganita Wase 7 as well. They're potentials. Korobetti selected by quite a few people. They're definitely potentials. Both good players playing Georgia. So hard to call that game because of how Australia have been playing. I think they will score points. Do you know what? Let's go for Nwanganita Wase for now. So what's that? 88. So maybe one more cheaper option down here. What are the Fijians or who have they got? I suppose Fiji have Wales, don't they? Italians, Japanese possibly. I don't know. I don't know enough about Japan at the moment. That's the problem. Who's right down the bottom? Sort of Portugal, Romania. Oh, it is still tough though. Who should we go for? Possibly another Italian in the back 3. Paulo Adogwu might not be a bad shout. Let's go with him. Where should we get? Centres last time was really difficult. This was an area that I was really struggling with. So it might be wise to move on and then come back to the centres. Should we go into the front row? Should we skip to the engine room of the team? Who have we got? So Ireland possibly. Ireland playing Romania, Japan, Italy. Front row's tough actually. Front row's really tough. Who's going to have who's going to be dominant up front? Maybe it is South Africa, but then they're going to be the most expensive options. That's kind of the problem that we have there. Let's go for... And then the other issue you've got with front rows is the fact that they'll get replaced, a lot of them, after 50 minutes or so. So you do really need someone that's going to have a pretty big impact. Go for a Georgian prop? Could be an option. What else have we got? Angus Bell I went for last time. I quite like Angus Bell actually. Let's go for that. Let's go for Angus Bell. Angus Bell for number 1. Then I think it has to be a cheaper option again. Because last time I was just trying to pick good players still. And you end up just completely overspending. Papidze. So these guys, a lot of these are going to be coming off the bench. Tonga don't play, do they? No, Tonga are the second weekend. Henry Thomas, don't think he'll start. Wales, Fiji could go. Wow, the Welsh props aren't good enough. What are we thinking here, guys? In the props. I think that's tough. Maybe I'll look for... I mean, I can't go Tyke Furlong. He's just too expensive. It does have to be a cheaper option. Do you go for someone who's going to come off the bench and hope they have an impact, potentially? Or maybe... Yeah, I'm going to have to go cheaper, I think. Falatea won't start. Newell, Lockman, Domachowski. All right, we're going to come back to props. Let's go hooker. Let's go. Hooker's a big selection because they're going to score tries. So again, I look at those games. Maybe it is... I will come back and change this, obviously, as well, before the first games when the team's selected. Maybe we go Dan Sheehan, presuming he's going to be fit. Because I think Ireland will dominate that game against Romania. But he's 9 points. So much. It's too much. Is there anyone else? Italy. What about the Italian? Italian hooker. But then that's all 3 of my Italian picks. Nicotera, 5.5. I'm going to go with him for the time being. Let's get into the second row. This is a tough one again because you've got so many good but expensive options. How much Thibaut Flamand? He's 7. Adam Beard, possibly, for Wales. Might not be too bad a shout. Chris Vui, Samoa. They don't play, do they? No. Samoa don't play. Will Rowlands, 5.5. So you just got to try and think who's going to get you points as well, which makes it tough. Already picked all my Italians. I picked Adam Coleman last time. Tonga aren't playing, so that's not worth it. But he is really cheap. He might be a good option for week 2, I think. Sam Skinner, 6. He'll be coming off the bench. Yeah, all the stuff. I feel like you're going to have to pick someone that's not really starting. Could I go for an Aussie? Another Aussie? I've already got 2 Aussies, actually. Let me get the fixtures back up here. Yeah, Scotland playing South Africa. That's such a tough fixture. For both teams, really, I suppose. Marvin Ory. Jean Klein. Never know. They could throw a curveball. Well, not too much for curveball. They could start one of those guys. I think maybe I'll go for maybe a Will Rowlands because he will start. Let's go Will Rowlands for 1. How many points are we on here? 68 still. So Will Rowlands and then Tuasui. Is Tuasui playing as a lock for Fiji? Yeah, maybe. Matt Phillip. So I've got 1 Ireland player. Yeah, I want to save my Ireland picks maybe for possibly for centres or the back row. Ireland. I might just go real left field actually. Or maybe that's what I'll do in the props. Go really left field for... Have we got maybe Namibia or something like that? Yeah, let's just go random. I'm going random there for now. Back into my second row option. I can't wait for the comments again. They're probably going to be pointing out so many things that I've got wrong. Where should we go? Other second row. It's really not easy. And a lot of this, I think, is going to have to change once the teams come out. Right, George Martin. Just chuck him in. Let's chuck an Englishman in there. Into, how many have we got then? So we've got 60 points for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. Okay, back row. This is tough because your temptation is to pick all these guys at the top. But I just don't think we can do that. So who are the guys that are going to start but are not as expensive? That's where it gets pretty... Fraser McWright, he'll probably start, I would have thought. Tommy Raffel, I think he probably starts. Hooper will start. Michael Leach, he's quite a popular pick for only 5. Yeah, maybe go with him. It's not too bad a call. Yeah, Japan's a good shout. Then playing Chile. Let's put him in. What else do we have down the bottom? I just don't know. I don't know enough of the players down the bottom. That's the problem. For who could end up having a standout tournament. There'll be some guy down here who has like a great first week or 2, and then all of a sudden everyone will pick him because he's a cheaper option. But you just don't know who it's going to be. That's why you kind of end up going with the players you know. That's why it helps if anyone who's kind of like a tier 2 expert. Dan Lydiate, Rob Leota, Jacobson, Facundo Isa, Pablo Matera. Maybe let's stick Matera in. I think Argentina could have some decent success against England. Where does that leave us? 49 left. 1, 2, 3 for 5 players. So we can probably maybe start picking someone slightly more expensive. Jasper Wiese, maybe. No, I need an Irish player, I think. Jack Conan or Peter O'Mahony. Let's go Peter O'Mahony for now. That might end up changing. So 42. So we've got a little bit of money to spend here because we've done a pretty good job of keeping it cheaper. Could we afford DuPont? I don't know if I want DuPont week 1. I think week 1 I want... let's go Gibson Park again for week 1. And how much is that? So 33.5 between 3. Into the centres. Right, in that case, I'm going to go for... I want Gary Ringrose. How much is that? 24.5 for 2. Oh, we're going to have loads of budget left. It's been the opposite of the last video. Absolute dreams. We're going to have to go back then and decide who we drop maybe, or who we switch out. Where else can we go? Week 1, Wales, Fiji, Italy I've selected. Australia, I don't want Carter Gordon with the greatest respect to him. I've got 3 Irish players. England, Argentina, South Africa, Marnie Libok or Finn Russell, Scotland. Decent options. I'm going to go Marnie Libok for now. And what does that give us? 14.5. I could probably go Finn Russell, actually. So final centre. Interesting that Semi Randrandra is top. I've picked no French or All Blacks. I think that's just because I find that game so hard to call. And it's really difficult to know who's actually going to have a good game. No Scottish players either. I think I'm probably sleeping on the Scots a little bit. Tuipulotu's a good shout, 7.5. Ringrose, Tuipulotu. Is he going to have a good game against South Africa, or is he going to have a game that's going to get him enough points for this game, I guess? That's what I'm kind of thinking about. Samu Karevi for Australia against Georgia. He might be a good option. Maybe I'll go Samu Karevi. I kind of like that pick. And I want 3 Aussies in my team. All right, so we still have 6.5. So where can we... Probably front row, isn't it? Let's get rid of this fella. Can I get rid of him? Or do I have to lock in my team first? Let's confirm. Your team is saved. You can make changes. Yeah, fine. View team. Okay, let's transfer this guy out. So what we've got 9 for another front row option. Stephen Kitsoff, surely. Kitsoff or Malherbe, I think. Let's go Kitsoff. That still leaves us with another 2.5 points. Where can we squeeze that bit of value out? I kind of like our backs. I mean, I could change Karevi. I could be tempted to change Libot. The backs I'm pretty happy with. Maybe the back row or second row, particularly George Martin, actually, because he's not guaranteed to start at all. So what have we got? We've got 8.5 for another second row. Do I pick an All Black? Pick a Whitelock? Retallick might be injured, mightn't he? So I'm not sure there. Thibaut Flamand does sometimes score tries, Flamand. Maybe we go with him. Yeah, let's chuck him in, and then we'll still have another 1.5 points. So again, I'm going to transfer someone out. And what positions do we need? Will Rowland's there. France. I think the team's looking a lot better than it did in the first video. I still think there's tweaks to be had here. Still Japan, Chile. I feel like I need another... What happens if I transfer out Will Rowlands? What have Japan got in terms of second rows? I just think that's going to be a game worth selecting someone, almost. I'm missing the Japanese players here. Oh, here we go. Cornelson, yeah, they're quite cheap. They are quite cheap. Maybe not in the second row then for Japan. How many points we got? We got 7. Hockey Flamand. Do I go one of? I can't afford the Kiwi ones anyway, apart from Tupu Vahi. John Klein, maybe Marvin Ori. They're not going to start. Maybe I might go back to Will Rowlands. I think there's somewhere else that we can probably... Let's return him to the team. Where else could we find some... I don't know. Maybe instead of a Dogwood, do you think there's like one of the Japanese wingers? Possibly, actually. That might be a good shout. Let's have a look. Where are they? I should just start sorting it by team. Matsushima, 5.5. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Let's go there. So that only gives us 0.5. I'm happy with that for now. I've got 0.5 to work with. I'm going to make more changes, particularly when the teams come out. But what do you think so far? I suppose I don't have 3 Italians now. That's the only thing. Maybe lose. What happens quickly? I just want to try. So this is what happens, isn't it? You just start tweaking with it. Let's go countries. Italy. I want 3 Italians. Brex, Morsi. How many points we got? 8.5. All right, let's go Juan Ignacio Brex. I'm probably being too adamant that I want Italian players in, but it's just because of their fixtures, because they're playing Namibia. I think they will score tries. So there we go. Let's go that, and then that gives us, we've still got 2 to work with. Right, I'm going to leave it there on the video because that's probably long enough. What do you make of this team then? Kitsoff, Nicotera, Bell in the front row, Flamont and Rowland second row, Omani, Matera and Leach in the back row. I think maybe the back row needs a bit of a tweaking. Gibson, Parker, Marnie, Libok, and then Ignacio Brex and ring row centres, Matsushima, Nwangani, Tawase and Kapuotso as the back 3. It's locked in for now, and I will make sure that in fact, I can go here in terms of the league. Where's the invite? I'll put it in the description anyway. The code's there. I'll also put a link and whatnot in the description. So make sure you join up. It's going to be good fun. It's fun doing it, even though, quite frankly, I feel like I'm fumbling around in the dark most of the time. But anyway, drop a comment down below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.